Welcome to this week's Swarf and Chips. We've got a terrific show lined up for you. We are at ISCAR's Machining Techniques event, and this is what's going to happen today.
We've got live machining demonstrations, benefits of cutting techniques and strategy to people to go away with and introduce in their own company.
And what we've also done is made this an educational event so people can actually improve their own production facilities.
And we've got a huge reveal and a cutting time challenge for you. Welcome to this week's Swarf and Chips.
So Ian, you in charge of the first demonstration today. What was taking place?
It was using Multimaster really just to show its abilities to do small depths of cut on perhaps long reach applications or even short overhangs that can be used in sliding heads and small lathes where space is at a premium really.
Because some people say a solid carbide should be more rigid because it's obviously one piece, whereas the Multimaster, it's two pieces. What would you say to that?
Well, solid carbide is very rigid, however in certain applications it can be too rigid, so by using the different shanks in the Multimaster range we can overcome that with different dampening qualities. So we could have a solid carbide head and shank which would be almost the same as a solid carbide solution, or we can change the shanks to reduce vibration and dampen out certain applications.
And what other tools are on there? Obviously the Multimasters, various heads, there was a bit of groove milling and other things.
Yeah, so we had the chatter free, the 4-flute chatter free, which we've done some shouldering and full slotting. We also brought in our new range with the 1.5 times D flute length tool, so we've done finishing with that. We've got lots of different options, so ball nosing, fast feed, T-slotting, corner rounding, so it really is a very versatile solution, the Multimaster range.
And I know you've got the chip splitter, they're fairly new still, how are they going down?
The chip splitter is an excellent range, as you saw on the demonstration when we compared it with the 8 diameter tool which didn't have the chip splitters. The Swarf control is much better, so if you're working in a pocket or down in a deep cavity, the Swarf evacuation is far superior. And
always new products with ISCAR, you always innovate?
Yeah, we are constantly innovating, and even with the solid carbide in the Multimaster range there are always new products coming out which hopefully you'll see later today.
I'm here with Graham from Hewland, and the company that you've worked with has been working alongside ISCAR for 20 years plus. What's your most recent investment then?
We've had the UOP cutters, we've had those, and we've had some specials made for us, and now we've just invested in the multi-F grip, which will hopefully bring us lots of better productivity, better part off, and increase, as it is, productivity.
So with your previous investment that you've just made, obviously you've been testing them, trialling them, you've invested in them. What were the benefits?
Just literally, they were so good in just ripping the material off. And obviously that increases productivity, it reduces cycle times, and it just gives us a better knowledge. And we need these sort of events to give us better knowledge of what's going on.
So is that the reason you come to the event?
Definitely, yeah. That's why we're here today.
Yeah, to learn and with your partners as well?
Yeah, literally all of us to come. It gives us a better knowledge of what's going on, especially at ISCAR and obviously other events we attend. So this is going to been a great day so far.
So Darren, without question, one of the highlights of today was your ceramic turn-in of H-hardened 718 INCONEL. Is it as easy as you make it look?
With the correct programming strategy, which is what today's been about, is to actually educate people to actually get the best out of their cutting tools. It was good. A lot of help from the programming strategies, trachoidal turning from solid cam. So yeah, thanks to them.
So just quickly, what are the people talk a lot about notching, don't they, when using ceramic, certainly on 718. So how do you overcome these issues?
It basically is the engagement and disengagement of the insert going into the material. So what we tend to do is we tend to arc into the cut, arc out of the cut to reduce the pressure build-up and the sudden release of the cutting pressure. We also vary the depth of cut as we're turning, so we continually engage, disengage using radial movements, making sure that the depth of cut is a lot less than the actual radius of the insert as well. That's very important.
And the demonstration today, again, it was dry, there was no coolant. Was that what you'd normally recommend, or would you put coolant on INCONEL?
As long as there's no interrupted cut, I'd recommend flooding it with as much coolant as you can. We tend to find cutting it dry, we do tend to get a lot of pickup from the swarf sticking on the component because of the temperatures we're cutting with.
So what ISCAR tools have been on the job?
Basically RNGN 1207 inserts with a T-land, just to protect the cutting edge a bit, in a Cylon grade, which is an IS35. We also used a positive insert, an RPGX 0907. Slightly harder due to we're only using it for finishing, so we went with an IS25. Allowed us to put the surface speed up a bit, and as you saw, I gave it another 50% on the feed rate on the finish pass, so we were up to 0.33 feed rate, which is very high at 250 meters a minute.
Yeah, and I think it's worth repeating, this is age-hardened INCONEL, it's synonymous with one or two, aerospace manufacturers, isn't it? It's not easy stuff to machine.
No, it's not, Joe. As you saw, the first insert we used was a carbide insert to prep the piece. We were actually machining at 80 meters a minute with a carbide insert, cutting dry. Carbide dry on age-hardened INCONEL is not something you see. But okay, we're only cutting for a couple of minutes with it, but no wear on the insert. So just to show you how good these grades are.
So for the people at home watching this video, I don't do 718 INCONEL. What other materials could they possibly adopt this strategy on?
Any high temp alloy really, Monels, wasp alloys, the typical nasty aerospace materials that we deal with, any of them.
And always difficult to quantify, but what's the typical saving in terms of process speed over carbide?
I ran the programs through with 80 meters a minute, which is high for carbide on INCONEL, and we had a 31 and a half minutes contact time. Running it with a Cylon, 14.4 minutes, so a 50% reduction in machining time. And I did explain this is the reason we do this, just to show you that we can reduce manufacturing times by 50%. It's a very big cost saving to the customer.
And finally, to conclude, how about the process stability of ceramic over carbide?
The cutting times are basically reducing the cycle time. You normally wear the inserts. I mean, a couple of the very large aerospace manufacturers in the UK use our Cylon. They're getting 20 plus minutes contact time out of them. So compared to existing Cylons that are out there, 3, 4, maybe 5 minutes contact time, we're 4 times the tool life.
I'm with two Johns here from GE Aviation. Now, John, what brings you to this event today?
Just to see what the latest tooling technology that's on offer and come down with our lead mechanic so he can witness it as well.
Okay, have you learnt a lot from today?
Yes, well, I'm familiar with a lot of the products, but John's not seen a lot, so I wanted him to see it so he can see the gaps where he can improve his processes.
This is perfect. So, John, have you seen those gaps that you want to improve your processes?
There's quite a lot of new tooling that we didn't know was available before, so events like this are good to bring things to the forefront for us and show where we can improve.
Is there anything specific that you've seen at all that you can walk away and go, you know what, that's really good?
Well, the one thing we did see was a 3D scanner. It looks as if it's something we could maybe use the shop floor as well for a different application, not just cutting tools. So that was something different that we didn't know.
Exactly, it's perfect. Events like this aren't just about the initial thing that you're coming for, the tools exactly, but the system partners too. Thanks, Jen. Thank you.
The multi-master tooling's good as well. That's kind of new for us. The indexable heads, rather than using solid end molds and stuff.
So what's next then, John? What are we going to be seeing?
We're going to be machining some titanium. First tool we're going to look at is going to be a long-edged or porcupine cutter where we're going to push a full slot straight through the middle. Then we're going to do some pretty 80% engaged profiling, traditional old school way to use a porky, big depth of cut, big width of cut, use a lot of push power on the machine. But the next porky we will bring in will be like a more of a trachoidal style where we'll be taking big depth of cut but small radial width of cut at accelerated feeds and speeds.
What sort of depth? What depth?
We're taking 30 mil. What we found on this machine at 30 mil full slotting, we sort of run out of power. Even now we ring in the full 30 kilowatts out of the machine with the 50 mil porky at 30 mil depth of cut. It's good because we were able to push all that power through the tool itself without any vibrations. So it's a fantastic tool.
When you compare this demo to some of the others you've done today, is it one of the most impressive, do you think?
I think so, because it's basically, it is showing that we can get tools that we can still, we have 30 kilowatts available. We can use every single one of those kilowatts and still have a nice smooth soft cut, without any vibrations or noise, it's a really smooth cut.
I'm here with Steve from Proline Components. What brings you to the event here today?
Well, the rep recommended it because there's a lot of new products come out, and I'm particularly interested in the titanium machining because we're going to be doing a lot in titanium, so that's my point of interest. But also the part off was very good. That's been an eye opener. I think it's probably, in my opinion, one of the market leaders on the part off. What's just come out, yeah.
Brilliant, thank you.
John, that was a fabulous presentation on high feed surfacing.
Thank you.
Now, what in your opinion has changed over the years to bring this new strategy into play?
Well, I think the tooling itself, as we used to, typically with button inserts where you would have to be limited on your feed and speed, but also the advoke of high feed tools, we get that chipped in, and all of a sudden we can push things a lot faster, but at the same time still get things very close to the final net shape of what we're trying to achieve.
Now, you at ISCAR have got many strategies to accomplish the same results. So why have you got so many different strategies, different products to achieve the same results?
With our high feed tools, we one of the things we say to our customers, show me, for example, what's your power curve of your machine, and we calculate what do you want to achieve on your depth of cut, your width of cut, and we plot it out on their power curve, say, right, your optimum tool is going to be 50 diameter in this style of insert, we're going to be getting maximum value for our car by taking the max depth of cut, and so we're going to give the customer ultimate value for money effectively.
So effectively, you've got different products that are absolutely perfect to suit your customers' applications.
If our customer has 35, 40 kilowatts, we'll say, right, you need to be taking 2 mil depth of cut with a 63. That is going to give you optimum metal removal, but we may go to one customer who's got a 20-year-old BT40 that's not quite as new as it was. We'll say you need to be looking at a depth of cut around about 0.8, where we would sell him a high feed tool specifically to take a 0.8 depth of cut, use less power, but at the same time we'd be able to give him a decent metal removal rate because we can get more teeth in there.
Now, we at Swarf and Chips are sponsored by INCONEL Special Steels and Alloys, and this event is all been around materials, about education. Have the audience today been educated?
I'd like to think so, I've been to some demos where we just do medium carbon steel, but over the years we've gone from titaniums, we've done INCONELs, we've done Tulox, tool steel, we've done aluminiums. I mean, we've done a different array of materials, I think tool steel is more interesting to cut than just a piece of mild steel.
I'm with Chris here from SPS Aerostructures. Thank you for your time, Chris. Chris, you've been working with ISCAR for over 10 years now. Talk to me about what industry you're in and how they benefit you as a customer.
Yeah, well, we work in the aerostructures industry. We've been working with ISCAR for 10 years, but we've recently had a big drive to work with them more. The support that we've had from them and the tooling that we've had, it's been really beneficial for us. It's decreased cycle times, it's increased productivity, and it's a lot more durable.
Any specific situation there where they've resolved something for you, something maybe that's niggled away at you, but something that they've found and they've looked after you in?
Yeah, we recently increased some of the machines that we've got, some new machines that came in, the previous cycle times, like I say, but also we also changed some of the processes and stuff from the CAD/CAM department, and they managed to work through with ISCAR to then benefit from, I think it decreased cycle times by about 45% or so in the end. So instead of taking an hour and 10 minutes or so, it now takes, I think it's 35, 45 minutes.
Yeah, impressive.
Yeah, very.
It is now time for your cutting time challenge, not your cycle time challenge, your chance to get involved and get your guesses in to win a Swarf and Chips goodie bag. So in 1977, Elvis did leave the building.
Yes, Elvis did pass away in 1977, but more importantly, I was born.
Yes, that is very important, but also ISCAR invented the very first self-grip parting off tool.
Prior to the invention, they used to use carbide brace tools to part off, and they'd done a test on 100mm bar, EN19 I believe, Lindsay, and it took 4 minutes to part off that bar. The new invention reduced that to 1 minute, and there's been many evolutions since.
I'll take you through those really quickly. So this is the one that it took it down to 1 minute, and that's the self-grip cut it parting off tool. Then we go over to the do grip. It moved to do grip with coolant running through it. Then we go to this one here, which is called the tang grip. You can see the scalloped edge there. That made Swarf kind of flow off in a different direction. Then we move over to the tang grip IQ. They cut that off and they made the Swarf a little bit more free. free flowing. But it is also time for the big reveal, because this is ISCAR's latest big reveal, and it is here, the Multi-F grip.
Now, the Multi-F grip is the latest evolution from ISCAR for parting off. Now, this has got multiple indexing stations for the insert to going. They've eliminated vibration and allowing faster feeds and speeds, even on intermittent cutting. This is the next generation of parting off tools.
So how long for your cutting time challenge this week from brazed carbide 4 minutes to cut a 100mm bar, EN19 material? How long does it take now on the latest Multi-F grip?
Andy, that was a fantastic presentation. Now, parting off is an integral part of the turning process. What have ISCAR brought to the market?
Well, what we've done is we've looked at the items that we've produced in the past and looked at the way things are going, and we're able now with this system to bring a much more rigid and much more stable parting off process to manufacturing. In the past, maybe people use long overhangs, or even the design of some of the blades that we produce, we're not locating fully with the bottom surface. This is a flat surface, it's a rigid surface, it locates to the turret of the machine rather than perhaps cantilevering, which a lot of traditional systems do.
Now, a lot of people mention rigidity when they talk about the machine tool, but not necessarily about the cutting tools. Does this eliminate vibration and hence give you faster cutting feeds and speeds?
Absolutely. I mean, vibration is one of the bad sides of cutting, if you like. We can't always get away from it, and that means we have to make compromises with speeds and feeds to try and get rid of noise. We don't have noise with this system. Everything is absorbed in the elasticity of the blade or the tool, and even back to the turret. There is no movement that causes vibration. That means our cut is more stable, our tool life is better, and we can increase the feed rates.
Now, this is the first time that I've seen a four-sided parting off tool. Is this new to yourselves?
In this shape, yes. The previous version, the TGS Ute, has 4 pockets in it, but it's not at this scale. This is a brand new direction for us, and I'm sure we will continue with it.
Now, the theme of the show is all about productivity and profitability and education. Do you believe that people that invest in this part-off tool will see that kind of return of investment instantly?
Absolutely, and we're seeing that already with systems that we have in the market. Even people using our existing inserts, using this system, we find they increase their tool life. It gives them a better cost per product.
What a fantastic show. My favourite part personally was watching everybody here getting educated and walking away with knowledge, and we hope you've learned a thing or two as well. Joe?
Exactly the same as you. All these demonstrations, we've had 718 INCONEL with both turning and milling with ceramics, which has been an education. There's been close on 200 engineers today, and it's just great to look at their faces when they see something they didn't know.
Yeah.
You know, it's really good.
Definitely.
I think the materials were a big aspect for me as well. Real life strategies that they're bringing into the demonstrations and different ways in which you can cut these materials. I think the Multi-F grip is a revolution in parting off, and the productivity gains and profitability that you can get from that are outstanding.
And I spoke to 2 people who said, I am investing in that technology. Well, don't forget, you've got your cutting time challenge, so put your guesses in the comments box below to win your Swarf and Chips goodie bag. And that is it from us. So gents, what do we always say? Keep those spindles turning.